The broadcast has now started. All right, here we go. Coming up on UPH, Destiny's Child.
The Union Aerospace Corporation.
They mostly come out at night. Mostly.
Lasers!
And more on this episode of Unbelievable Power Hour.
What's happening? He's getting all rackety. Is that a mushroom? Ugh, it smells. And now he's changing colors. Really gross!
Those old hags are so mean to me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 24 of Unbelievable Power Hour, your mind-blowing source for video game news, previews, and adventure. I'm Dan DeHaan, and with me today is my gaming bropey, Aaron Wiesinger.
That sounds gross. What's up, Dan?
Hey, Aaron. It's another week,
Everybody else?
another episode of Unbelievable Power Hour.
Welcome.
Do you like my new broadcast voice?
I do. It's charming? That's the word.
Thank you. I think it sounds commanding.
How's it going, dude?
Good. I have just completed week 5 of paternity leave. I have
So you're
been
going back
puked on more times than I can count in this last 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Yes. I've changed multiple diapers. Like 2.
Mm-hmm. Just two. Those first 2 tar ones, and then you're
Done.
done.
I'm tapping out. Yeah, but you know what's going on this week is Steam sales.
Sure as hell is.
And you know, I think it's weird to admit, but I get super excited for Steam summer sales.
Yeah. I do too.
It's just like, what's going on sale next? And then I gotta vote, and I gotta get those cards, and I never get enough to build a badge.
Yeah.
I haven't built a single badge.
I don't even know what that is.
You Steam cards, you get enough Steam cards, you build a badge.
Okay.
So that's it.
Cool.
It's like a Boy Scout thing.
You can print it out and then iron it onto your shirt.
Do enough good deeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've already gotten
Imagine.
a couple games. Octodad went cheap, so I picked that up.
Mm-hmm.
World's Dadliest Catch. And I actually bought Halo Front Assault or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Lower Assault.
Yeah.
Cheap.
Now, when you shop for these, are you looking at like how do you browse through the sales?
Well, I have a couple ways that I browse through the sales. One, I go through the daily deals.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go to the flash sales.
Okay.
Then I go down to the community sales.
Okay.
Then I'll go to the top sellers list. And that shows the 100 top selling. Then I go to my wish list. And I have my wish list. And that'll show me how cheap they are there.
Yeah. You got a
I've
nice little
got-
checklist.
I
going.
do. I only check the top sellers. You know, that's a more infrequent check. But the wish list, that's the key. Build a good wish list, and then
Yeah.
because sometimes they sneak additional sales in. They'll sneak
Mhm.
it. It'll be cheaper later.
Yeah.
Be patient. That's my advice to anybody that is surfing the sales.
Yeah.
Is be patient.
Just in life, just patience is a virtue.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Also, been hitting up the board games a bunch too this week.
Still Marvel Dice?
Did not play any Marvel Dice this week. Played Couriers instead,
Hmm.
which is a similar game made by the same game designer.
Mhm.
And but I'd say it's a little more straightforward. There's less strategy to Couriers than there is in Marvel Dice,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Also, waiting for your arrival is the game Android Netrunner.
Mm-hmm.
Picked that up. Also got all my card sleeves, so all the cards are in sleeves, so your greasy thumbs won't get them all dirty.
Oh, it'll penetrate the plastic. Don't worry.
It's just like it'll melt the plastic like alien blood, right?
He's got acid for blood.
Also, Brittany bought me a Game of Thrones, the card game, for
Nice.
Father's Day. Had my first daddy day, so that was nice. Yeah, so got a couple of those, and just rolling down the list of monumental things I did this week. Subscribe to Loot Crate. You see
What
that thing
is
on
that?
Facebook all the time? It's like, join Loot Crate. It's the coolest. And I joined it,
Uh-huh.
and it's basically just a monthly service where they send you a bunch of garbage. You know, they send you a bunch of nerdy stuff every month, like
Okay.
pick nerdy stuff
I'm looking it up right now.
based on a theme. And this week's theme is transformation, so there's going to be some Transformers stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, like, there's T-shirts and books and toys and things in it, and I can't
Yeah.
wait. This is the coolest service ever. I
That
haven't
is
gotten
awesome.
my first one, but I've just looked at past crates, and wow, I'm excited.
Yeah.
So
This looks like a pretty good deal.
yeah, it is. It's like $19.99 a month, and if you pay for more months in advance, you can get it down to like $13 a month.
Nice.
But I can't wait. And all my Loot Crate stuff's gonna be in the background here, and it's just gonna be like Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Just piled high.
And then last but not least, this week, Brittany and I have been watching the Aliens movies.
Oh, good call.
We actually started with Prometheus.
That would be the prequel, I suppose.
Yes, in chronological order, that would be the first.
Yeah.
As far as the timeline.
Right.
I have mixed feelings about that movie.
What is your biggest problem with Prometheus?
My biggest problem is there are just like a couple of parts in the script where it's a little too like they're kind of the characters, the way they talk and stuff like that. They're caricatures of actual people rather than just real people. Like, he's the badass scientist, and look, he's got an attitude. Don't try to be friends with him.
Right.
'Cause,
Was it the geologist, was it?
yeah. And it's just like,
I just want to eat my soup.
yeah, I don't want to be your friend. Come on. Who is this guy? He doesn't seem real. That was my biggest issue. My second biggest issue is when that sea engineer ship drops and starts rolling, and they're trying to get out of the way.
Yeah.
That part was dumb.
That seemed not unbelievable.
Yeah. And
Do
then,
ships roll like that? I don't think so.
I think it would have just it's super. They're engineers, so they're super alien engineers, so they can make rolling ships.
I mean, here's the thing. It's a spaceship, so it's not meant to, I wouldn't think, meant to necessarily be landed like that, and the structure wouldn't be built to support falling at that angle, so it would just
Right.
be destroyed.
That aside, left or right? Turn left or turn right?
Hmm.
Live.
No, run down that two-dimensional path directly in front
I
of it.
tried to see, is it like, was it just bad angles and they actually were, but the ship was just turning towards them and all this stuff, and that really bothered me. So some of the characters, that stupid part, and then there's a couple areas of dialogue, like whereas like, when Charlize Theron's character comes in and the captain's there and you're like, "You want to get laid?
Are you a robot?
Are you a robot? You want to get laid? Hey, guess who owns this? Guess who used to own this little accordion box thing?"
Right.
And it's like, okay, that's
enough.
that's dumb. Then we watched Alien after that.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite out of all of them. I put that above Aliens. I know a lot of people love Aliens the most. I think,
I think they're two different movies.
Booey on them, is my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, still, if you're going to choose your favorite, I say, if you say Aliens, and I think you say that, don't you?
I would probably watch that much more often than Alien.
All right. Yeah. I think Alien, just really the way they crafted the suspense and all of that in that movie is really good. I also think the characters are awesome. They're real. Like, they're supposed to be truck drivers in space, and
Jonesy.
There isn't anyone in that movie that is like isn't a real person. Yeah. They're all just like real people, and that's it.
Yeah.
So we watched that. Then we watched Aliens. I like Aliens. I think it's a fun movie, but it is a big departure from the first one.
For sure.
And it also, part of enjoying Aliens is how corny it is.
Right.
Like, game over, man. Game over. And they mostly come out at night. Mostly.
I think that movie is like one of the best examples of getting sound bites from any source material out there.
There's a lot of classic cheesy lines in that movie.
Yeah.
So, and there's weird stuff in that movie too. Like if you watch it, there's like the sergeant, and he dies with the a Latina woman at the end.
Yeah.
And they die together, and she's kind of like, "You always were an a-hole," or something like that. But the thing is, he's new.
Yeah.
She talks like he's always just been this jerk of a sergeant, and they couldn't stand him, except the fact was, in the beginning, they're like, "Looks like the new sergeant's too good to eat with the rest of us."
Plot hole.
But I like it. We are not going to watch Alien 3, and we're not going to watch Alien Resurrection.
Good.
Because Alien 3 I don't hate. I don't hate that one. I do hate Alien Resurrection. I used to love Alien Resurrection. When that was in the theater, I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I acquired much better taste.
You came to your senses.
Yeah, I was like, oh wait. I was just really big on the director, the Pierre, what's his butt?
I'm not sure.
Because he directed City of Lost Children and Delicatessen, and I really loved those movies, so I was excited, and it was like, oh, that's his brand.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh wait, I didn't think about the Alien brand.
Yeah.
And how dumb. Except Ron Perlman was awesome in it. So that's basically been my week.
Cool.
How was your week?
My week was pretty good. I want to say real quick about Android Netrunner. That reminded me, and when I look at the box art for this, of a card game I used to play.
Called
back
Android.
when I played Magic a lot.
Called Netrunner?
Yeah. And
Same game.
I don't know if it's based off the same,
It's the same
sort
thing.
of universe or what, but
Netrunner?
yeah.
It's the same game.
I mean, but it was called Android Netrunner?
No, it was called Netrunner, and Fantasy Flight bought the game, bought the rights to the game, and then put it in their Android universe.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of worked it into that.
Mm-hmm.
Made some probably like little differences in gameplay, not a lot. I think they updated some of the gameplay elements.
Yeah.
Instead of a, I think it was a CCG at the time,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
collectible card game, and now it's an
Yep.
LCG, a living card game.
Oh.
Living
Well.
card game is just, for anyone that doesn't know, is CCG is collectible card game, so you got to buy other packs to keep this thing going, to keep it fresh,
Right.
and not everyone's going to have the same deck.
Mm-hmm.
A living card game, when you buy that base set, everyone buys the same base set, and there are expansions that you can buy and add to it, but you know that if you buy that base set, everyone else has that same base set.
I didn't even know that was like a term. That was a thing.
Yeah.
LCG. Cool.
What did you think of Netrunner?
It was super fun. I didn't get a ton of expansions for it, but I remember playing with my friend Nick quite often.
Slick
And,
Nick?
Yeah, it was definitely different from Magic, but I mean I couldn't recall any of the mechanics for it, but I do remember having fun with the game. So yeah, looking forward to playing that again.
Yeah, I think it looks kind of cool. It's like you have two sides. One person is the corporation and one person is the hacker.
Right.
And the corporation has all of these kind of defenses that they set up in their computer network to combat the hacker. The hacker uses all their stuff to try and steal information from the corporation.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks kind of cool. Looks unique.
Yeah.
Unique New York.
So my week, actually last week, I talked about having back pain for the past few weeks, and so I finally went to go see a doctor, and he was like, "Hey, looks like you might have a
Slip
disc problem." Yeah. So, which is called sciatus, I think, something like that, or the problem it causes, and so I have to go to physical therapy like every day for the next 3 or 4 weeks. And so that's been pretty cool. It's actually been really helpful, so that's nice. And
what is the physical therapy? Just like
so I mentioned lasers in the intro. They shoot lasers at my back.
Really?
Which I don't know what that does, but lasers can't argue with that. Science.
I think you can.
And they do this other thing that kind of like puts you on a medieval rack and pulls you apart a little bit. Like grabs your chest and your torso or your hips and pulls you in opposite directions.
Is this a chiropractor?
No, it's like a physical therapy clinic that's attached to the doctor's office.
Okay. Okay.
And so I do that, and then they do some like massage stuff and some heat packs and some they hook up these electrified suction cups to your back, and then they can adjust the voltage on what kind of
Current.
jolt it's going to give you. So
Remember Jolt Cola?
I do remember Jolt Cola.
That'll heal your back.
They pour a couple cans of that over the lumbar region, and you're good to go.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Well,
So I've been
that
doing
stinks that it got that bad that you had to go to the doc.
Yeah. I mean, it's better, but it's still pretty painful and just irritating. So I'm hoping just with enough physical therapy and taking care of it, it'll get better. So if not, under the knife.
Or you think it's
No,
that?
probably not.
Oh,
I don't think
okay.
it's that bad, no.
Ugh.
But yeah, we'll see.
'Cause
It'll
I
be
would,
cool.
I would go to a chiropractor before I did anything like that.
Yeah, no. I'm definitely making more out of it than it is. It's not that painful, not that irritating yet. So
Yeah.
so I've been doing that every day, and I got an airbrush.
Really?
So I'll be airbrushing some stuff
Like
after I
pink
come
jackets
back.
and stuff?
Mostly Vans, and putting cool wolf logos on things. That kind of thing.
T-shirts and...
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I've never been a fan of the airbrush style.
Me neither. I think it's
I
gross.
hate it.
Yeah.
Why'd you get one then?
I got it to paint miniatures.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Because
That's a good reason then.
Yeah. It's with a lot of things that have like a larger flat surface, it's harder to paint with a brush and not get brush strokes in there. And some things it's easier to shade with it. And like, because I don't want to be spraying cans of aerosol primer in my apartment.
In your tiny apartment?
Yeah. So it'll be nicer to have something that's not a toxic, just a bunch of toxic fumes in here. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Well, you should post some pictures of the stuff you paint.
Yeah. And what else? Oh, I'm down to the last 3 episodes.
Holy cow!
Yeah, I've been ripping through that thing.
You have gulped that up.
Yeah, I realized that I had already watched everything except season 5. So, but
really?
it was a good refresher course
Yeah.
on what had happened. And shit is crazy now.
Just recently, they announced that they've already renewed Better Call Saul for a second season, and the first season hasn't even aired yet.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're hopeful with Better Call Saul.
I wouldn't put too much stock in that. Just knowing how, like, popular series like Seinfeld try to have, like, spin-offs with, what's his name? Kramer, the guy who played Kramer.
They didn't have a spin-off.
Michael
for
Richards.
Seinfeld.
What?
There wasn't a spin-off for Seinfeld.
No, but I'm saying Michael Richards had his own show based on
that's
his
not a
character.
spin-off. No, not based on Kramer. There was no Kramer show.
It wasn't based on Kramer?
No. There was some show that Michael Richards was on where he was like a private eye or a detective. That was terrible. Okay. The Kramer show would have been hilarious. Giddy up.
But didn't they all, like, basically have their own show that failed?
Yes, they. Well, George did. George had a show where he was like a I mean, it wasn't George. It was Jason. Jason
Statham.
Statham. Yes, Jason Statham. Where he was a motivational speaker.
Mm-hmm.
That was on ABC. That failed. I think Michael Richards' show was on CBS, and it was just him saying the N-word over and over.
Oh, that doesn't sound like a
No.
really popular show.
Yeah, his N-word rant was after that was canceled.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
Yeah, that was crazy
Yeah.
time for Michael Richards.
I was reminded of it because I was watching the Seinfeld's Riding in Cars with Comedians, Getting Coffee, or is it? Yeah, the long-named show.
He kind of he's open about it now.
Yeah.
Because they did an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm about it too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his yeah, that was pretty good. But Julia Louis-Dreyfus, I don't know if she had a show that failed right after, but soon after she had a show that was successful on CBS. Mm-hmm. At least ran a few seasons.
Yeah.
And now she's on Veep on HBO, and that's pretty successful.
Yeah, I think she's probably doing the best out of all of them.
Yeah, probably.
I mean,
yeah, it's too bad, but we just love those characters so much, and we just don't want to see them do anything else.
Yeah.
But I actually, I don't know if they. I mean, there's been a ton of spin-offs that are actually really successful. I mean, it's a 50-50 shot.
Like what? Like, do you have a good example?
Joey.
Spin-off show.
Joey is really successful.
What was that?
From Friends.
Oh.
No, actually, that's
our favorite show.
A bad example. That failed right away. The ones that come to mind, like the quickest, are the old ones, like Mark and Mindy and Laverne and Shirley. I mean, those are all spin-offs. Frasier. It comes to mind. Frasier's a spin-off.
Yeah. Would you say Frasier is better than Cheers?
Yes, I would. As far as the way it appeals to me, yeah. Cheers, I can't watch Cheers. I don't think it's very funny. Yeah. I never did. My parents watched it a little, and I hated it. Like, this show's dumb, I'm leaving.
Caused a big rift with you guys.
Gal, what other spin-offs, more recent, though, that have there been?
I don't know.
Would you say Boston Legal was... Private Practice was successful, I would say.
Didn't watch either of those.
Well, I didn't either. I'm just trying to name successful spin-offs.
I don't even... vaguely
Private Practice was off of Grey's Anatomy.
Okay.
Boston... Was it Boston Legal, and then there was one... Was The Real Show, or one of those shows with Dermot McRolney. That's not his name.
It should be his name.
They called him that on The Campaign, that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's got a shot, but, you know, there's been a ton of examples.
When is that coming out? Do you know?
I think it's the fall.
Okay.
I think it comes out in the fall. So.
I'll be curious.
All right, are you ready to talk about some games?
Let's game it up.
All right, everybody, it's time for the weekly playlist. This is where we talk about the games we've been playing. Mine's probably going to be a little short. I've been playing some games, but I beat Mario Kart 8.
Oh, wow.
And so that's in the I put that in the list.
Cool.
Of games I beat this year.
Man, you're rocking.
And I wasn't sure if you could say you beat Mario Kart 8, but yeah. I mean, if you do, I made it to the credits. You know, there are credits to the game, and so if you beat all those tracks, and there are actually 8 Grand Prix that you could play, so with 4 tracks each.
Yeah.
So yeah, really good game.
I would say you beat it.
I love all of the. They did a great job with all the retro tracks that they brought in.
Yeah.
Tracks from previous games, and it's pretty cool.
Nice.
It's a good game. The big game I want to talk about this week, though, and you can see the list of games that I played. There's 2 games on there left, Pushmo and Destiny.
Okay.
The big game that I want to talk about between those 2 is Pushmo.
Oh. That was a twist.
Yeah. I love Pushmo.
Yeah.
It was on sale, and I had $5 of Mintembo bucks.
Is that what it's called? Are they
Mintembo. Actually, I was in like 12th grade and sitting in a Burger King and heard a guy say Mintembo.
My Nintendo Entertainment System.
Maybe he wasn't talking about what I thought he was talking about.
What else would it be? Mintembo?
Maybe he said akimbo. No, he said Mintembo. Yeah, I had. It was on sale for $5. I had $5. I was like, well, why not? I'm gonna try this game. I've heard some good stuff about it. It is about a sumo wrestler that saves children that are trapped in playground equipment. This is
Sounds awesome.
what this game is about. And it's actually really fun. So it's exactly what I said. It's the weirdest thing, but there are all of these structures that you can slide in and out in different places. Like they have different patterns, and what you have to do is work your way up to the top of these structures by basically pulling out steps that look a lot like Tetris blocks. You know, all different kinds of shapes and sizes. And you have a depth that you can pull it out to. You can pull it out to 3 blocks deep. And sorry, I just totally tripped myself up in my mind because whenever I say the word deep, I think of Ice Cube lyrics.
You want to share?
Put your butt to sleep. I just want to say that whenever I say the word deep, and I was just like, oh, I don't want to, and then I was like, oh, I was lost. So
you mentioned Jenga when you talked about this before.
Did I talk about this last week?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, that's right, because we only touched on it for a minute, right?
Yeah.
Because we didn't really talk about games we played.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jenga. It's just Jenga.
Done. No, I'm seeing a lot of these, like, it looks like maybe user-created levels.
No, they probably do. I haven't gotten that far yet. I'm just about done with the second world, which has a ton of puzzles for each world. So it's a lot of fun. I think it's a really good, challenging puzzle game, and totally worth picking up. Just came out for the Wii U also, Pushmo World. Just in case you want some Pushmo.
Mo push.
Mo Kush for the push.
Okay. Yeah, I should pick this up. I don't know if I can get it here on my 3DS. I hope so. Yeah.
Speaking of your purchasing woes, PS4 just added PayPal to their lists of purchasing services.
Like directly on the system?
Yes.
Nice.
So that should help you out.
Yeah.
So yeah, Pushmo, play it. It's cheap and it's great value. It's pretty cool. Cute little sumo characters, love it, and I love saving children trapped in playground equipment. In fact, I think today I'm just gonna go to the park and just start like rescuing children. You look trapped. I saved you.
You're gonna shift blocks around?
No, I'm just gonna run up, grab them, and save them.
Do you remember those? What are they like? They're fake bricks. So it's a big cardboard box, maybe the size of a shoebox, and it has like bricks printed on the outside, and you could build like forts with it when you were maybe like, I don't know, kindergarten, first grade. No,
not
ringing a bell. I was gonna say you could fake trap them and then.
Do you remember playing with cardboard boxes? Is basically what you just asked me.
Yes, but specifically ones with painted red bricks on them.
No. So you would just buy these cardboard boxes that look like bricks?
I don't know. They were at the like after school daycare, and it was at school. Just you could play with those.
Were you
a really cheap way to manufacture toys? Let's paint this cardboard.
Yeah. Was your daycare in an alley?
Yeah. Mom and Dad just tossed me about.
Hobo watching you.
Yeah.
No. Nope, I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
All right, last on the list. I played a little Destiny. I played some of the alpha.
Mm-hmm.
Played
What do you
about an
think?
hour. It's decent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't grab you. You like pushing.
I don't know if it was the mission that I played or not, but it was just kind of like, all right, I'm shooting stuff and going here and shooting a boss.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
Doesn't
and then
sound thrilling.
I was a little like I should have delved more into the like inventory system and that kind of stuff, but it didn't seem, and I'll say this could be just completely my issue with my brain, but it didn't seem very intuitive to me.
Okay.
And I think, for me anyways, to really get into a game where loot is one of the primary, appeals,
Yeah.
that inventory system better just make sense right off the bat.
Yeah.
That's why I love Diablo.
Yeah.
It's like,
And
hey, I know what I'm wearing.
Like the stats are compared really easily.
Yep.
And same with I would say Borderlands 2. That was another reason like why I really liked it, and it's super easy to like swap in and out different weapon types. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like maybe I didn't spend enough time. Maybe if I would have, and my attention's kind of divided sometimes lately, having
No
mini
good
human-
reason.
having the little human there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like it wasn't grabbing me, and I think, for an alpha, wow, it looked amazing.
Yeah.
I'm still going to give it another chance. The beta is coming in July, and I will give it some more time again because I really like the setting and the atmosphere and everything like that. However, Peter Dinklage sucked.
You don't like the dinklage in there?
I don't like the dink. I don't know if okay. So I'm gonna say this. This is an alpha, so
Right.
it is unpolished, and there could be some stuff in post production they're going to do that they haven't done. But he was phoning it in. It was terrible.
Yeah.
It was like, at first I was like, I recognize this terrible voice, and then because I forgot, oh yeah, Peter Dinklage is in it, and yeah, I just was surprised at how lifeless and monotone he was. Now I understand he is an AI character.
Okay.
And I started doing a little research on other actors and that have played AI characters.
Mm-hmm.
Most notably Hal, whoever did Hal from 2001: Space Odyssey.
Sure.
Also, another big one, more recent, Kevin Spacey in Moon.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, Kevin Spacey was a little monotone, a little bit lifeless sounding. But they had like some modulation on his voice,
Right.
and that made the difference.
Yeah.
And
Give
so
some spice.
I think, could you just imagine hearing that voice without like some computerized synthetic modulation type sound?
Yeah.
It just sounds like, oh no, what are they doing?
We need some digital effect in there.
Yeah. The queen is here. We have to defeat her.
No, it doesn't do it for me.
No. But if you put that sound over it,
I would say one of my other favorite AI voices is GLaDOS from Portal.
oh, my favorite AI voice is Claptrap. I mean, that's it. Hands down, Claptrap wins.
Yeah, I like how he can't modulate the excitement in his voice even when he's depressed about things.
Yeah. So I the controls, all that stuff. Very nice, and people are getting real excited about Destiny now. They can kind of see what it's going to shape up to be.
Cool.
But yeah, I just wasn't grabbed right away. Need to spend more time with it, and we'll see what happens. I am curious though, still.
Nice.
How about you? What have you been playing?
I first up, I think I talked about this a little bit last week, briefly. I've been playing Robot Unicorn Attack 2. I think Robot Unicorn Attack 1, I played on the iPhone. And it was like one of the first games that came out of the Adult Swim game studios. And it's just like ridiculous. You are a robotic unicorn, as the name would imply.
Yeah.
And you're jumping around and trying to dash through stars, and it's just see how long you can survive and try to get a top score. And so it was fun, super basic game, but yeah.
I usually
now-
have straight away. I think when I've seen that it's been Cartoon Network, it rings licensed product to me.
Yeah.
And it rings probably not, a fully fledged actual game to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're saying this is actually a good game, good fun game.
Yeah, I think this is actually like, this was one of the first games that they put out, and so like this made me excited about games that they put out later that then I was then unexcited about because they were crap.
For
but-
instance, I would not pick up any of the Adventure Time games because I just think they're just trying to, grab some cash from the
Yeah.
Adventure Time license.
Yeah. See, that's one that I'm really curious about because they released Card Wars, and like it was part of an episode.
Yeah.
Like they play a CCG in the game or in the show, and then they started selling Card Wars, and that kind of bothered me. But I'm curious if, like, I think the rating for it is pretty decent. I haven't actually played it though. So yeah, we'll see about that. But Robot Unicorn Attack, I'll just say RUA 2 is they add the ability to like customize your horse, add in some different abilities, and there's like community events where you gain like I don't know what you collect. There's little crystals that you buy things with. It's a free game, so if you want to check it out, it's pretty sweet. It's still the
Sweet.
same pretty basic gameplay, but yeah, fun little phone game there. And the big game that I wanted to play more of was Doom 3. And I got a bone to pick with Steam.
Pick away, my friend.
Really any other... what would you call them? What would you call Steam? Like, what sort of company are they? Intermediary? Or just, they're not a publisher.
Software.
Middleman. Yeah. A marketplace for these games.
Yes, a marketplace for games.
Yeah. So Doom 3 came out. I forgot it was this old. It came out in 2004. And it was a huge update compared to Doom 2. I mean, Doom 2 was all sprites, and I mean, it was a 3D game, but, very old. And Doom 3 updated a lot of the graphics and everything like that. And so I thought, playing it again because we just saw the trailer for Doom 4. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go on Steam, see if I can pick up Doom 3 pretty cheap. And I did.
How much?
And I think it was $10, something like that.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, I could have gotten it better, but, So I picked that up and installed it. And it installed fine, except the resolution defaults to 640 by 480. And
Gross.
yeah, and it does not allow you to easily change the aspect ratio to widescreen, which back in 2004, I guess most monitors were still the 3x4 or 4x3.
Yep.
So you got the black bars unless you go in and edit some config files, which isn't a huge deal, but then it still won't save the resolution, and there's just like so many issues I had with trying to just play the stupid game on widescreen. And
does it actually support widescreen, or does it just like crop the
it will
4K?
support, yeah, it will support widescreen, but you do have to do a little bit of fiddling with some files. Or when you're in the game, you can open up a console and change the aspect ratio that's displayed. It also makes you exit out of the game when you want to change resolution,
Wow.
which is dumb.
So you have to go into a config file and then put the resolution in there? Or is it... what about just getting way nerdy here?
Mm-hmm.
But what about updating your shortcut? Can you do it that way?
You can. You can set up an auto-exec config file where it like will automatically load all of your settings every time. And so I finally got that to work in the resolution that I wanted, got it widescreen and everything. And what pissed me off is you go in and you spend money on these games. Why is Steam even selling a game that most people would not be comfortable with that experience?
Right.
I mean, spending $10 on something that I know that's not a ton of money, but they're selling that as something like, hey, come play this, and you're probably not going to want to unless you have the knowledge and the wherewithal to search around to figure out how to get it to work right.
There are certain expectations with Steam that when you buy a game from the Steam biosphere, whatever, the gamosphere,
sure,
that they have been tested, they've met certain requirements to be able to be sold on Steam.
Right.
I think a lot of people have that expectation that's why Steam has been so popular, is because it's like before, when you were just buying all of this different software, it was just like you would have to figure something out. If you went and bought a game on a disc, you would have to figure it out. And then through Steam and this digital market, there's that expectation that, hey, this game is likely going to work with my system. They don't put, they've put maybe little warnings on some things, but for the most part, it's just an understanding this is going to work. I buy it, it's going to work.
Yeah. I just think they should be more careful especially when they're offering up older titles, and that they're taking advantage of increased popularity because the Doom 4 trailer came out, so people like me want to go back and be like, oh, I want to play Doom 3 again.
Yep.
But they don't really... I think the onus is on them to make it an experience that people now are going to be able to just install, and it's going to work fine to what their likely expectation is going to be.
I'll give you one worse. I think this is worse.
What's that?
Fallout 3 Game of the Year Edition came out October 13th, 2009. Does not natively run on Windows 7.
Really?
Just
I
Windows.
would not expect that at all.
If you go on the game page, it says Fallout 3 is not optimized for Windows 7. And so to actually run the game, you have to update the shortcut to run in compatibility mode.
Yeah.
Dumb.
That is dumb.
That just seems like it'd be an easy patch or something. It's just like, why won't this run in Windows 7? Yeah. And then why couldn't there be something in the executable files or the config files that says, if this is Windows 7, run in compatibility mode or something like that? It just seems like simple.
Seems basic. Yeah.
I guess you have... I don't know. Maybe there's an administrator thing there that, but who cares? There's something. I mean,
like, they're getting a cut of all these sales. I mean, like, we could be going directly to publishers and just buying them straight up. But like, it seems like they've got a storefront. They should be vetting their product a little more.
Yeah.
Before they put it out there. Especially
we will. The instances of this are few and far between. I mean, I don't think there's that many games, but still, it is when you run across it for big games like Fallout 3, like Doom 3.
Yeah,
it's aggravating.
Yeah. So after I got through the annoyance of getting it to actually work, I was like, you know what? The sound effects in this game are terrible.
Yeah.
The weapon sounds are awful. They are not satisfying.
Pew, pew, pew.
It might as well be. That would be at least funny. You could enjoy it on that level. It just sounds dumb. And so I went out and I was trying to figure out, like, Doom as a franchise has always been like very moddable. I remember, I can't remember if it was Doom 1 or 2. I got like the aliens mod, and so it would change the enemies to aliens from the movies, and like all the sound effects. It would like really good sound effects for the rifles, and it would change all the sprites for it, and so it was a pretty sweet thing to change for the game. And so I figured like they would probably do the same thing for Doom 3, and there was, but again, like, it's the whole. I just gotten finished getting the regular game to work, and then like playing with the mods and getting that installed. So it was just like I haven't actually played that much of the game.
Yeah.
I've just been messing with it to get it to a place where I want to actually play it for a while. So I mean, like, the gameplay itself, I think feels a little old. Like it doesn't seem to age that well. The enemies seem to be a little dumb. And there were still some like scary moments that I remember. I hate like the swapping the flashlight and the weapon. I forgot how. I remember it being faster. I remember like you'd bring up the flashlight and then immediately it would switch the weapon. But there's maybe like a 1.5 seconds delay between like switching the flashlight and the weapon.
This is before you could just tape a flashlight to the weapon.
They didn't have that technology.
They didn't have tape technology. Sticky goo wasn't around.
Oh man, speaking of technology, I was going to say, when you're talking about aliens earlier, in Prometheus, why didn't they have the terrible, terrible computers and like green CRT monitors from the original Alien at the very best? But they have like all this crazy like projection hologram technology. It's just like, what?
Yeah, Brittany and I were talking about that too, just about the trappings of prequels from old sci-fi franchises.
Yeah.
We were talking about that, and we were talking about how she kept accidentally calling Sigourney Weaver Sigourney Wiener.
Accidentally calling.
It's Sigourney Wiener in the third one. I'm like, it's Weaver. Sigourney Wiener?
Sweetie, it's Weaver.
All right, are you ready to move on to some news?
Yeah, I just want to say my first Steam sale game that I got was Far Cry 3, and I'll be talking about that next week.
All right. Have you started playing it?
No, not yet.
Okay. All right, here we go. News time, gang. All right, everybody, it's time for some news. We're going to talk about news, things that have gone on this week, and a couple of them we're going to have to take brief because we're running a little short on time. Yeah. We don't want to go too far over. So we'll quickly cover this first one. YouTube user PewDiePie earns $4 million a year.
Yeah. Just
Holy
shy of
crap.
what we pull in.
I think that's all we have to say. Holy crap.
Yeah.
He's got 27 million subscribers,
That's
and
insane.
yeah. I'm wondering if he has any other ways that he brings in income, if there's any like merchandise or anything he sells or not that is included in that number. No, it's ad revenue. It says that in the article. Ad revenue.
I don't think I'd even bother trying if I had that much in ad revenue.
Yeah, I wouldn't. The dude is loaded. Yep. Moving on. I hate you, PewDiePie. No, man, I'm just kidding.
Nothing but love.
Nothing but love. Joystick articles, more of them. We read Joystick, right?
We do. Yeah.
Mario Kart 8 has quadrupled sales of the Wii U, and this is in the month of May.
Mm-hmm.
Wii U hasn't been doing so great. Mario Kart 8 came out, and it's a huge success. And they're selling a lot more. PS4 is still number one, though. I mean, that PS4 is riding the top. And when you say quadruple, it's really good to know what the actual sales were before it was quadrupled, because,
it wasn't.
You only sold 4 units a month.
Oh yeah, up to 16.
But I do think they're doing well. I think they're going to continue to sell more. And in fact, I've seen some friends on Facebook that are like, "Hey, does anybody have a Wii U they want to sell?" or something like that. So there's interest in the Wii U that is starting to develop. And especially, I think overall, a lot of people felt like they came out of E3 with, if not the best showing, a really strong showing.
Yeah. I would venture that the way things are going, Nintendo will do better than Microsoft in this console cycle.
I think you're right, and I think there's a couple of reasons for that. I think the biggest reason is, what are the differentiators between Sony and Microsoft?
Mm-hmm.
Really it comes down to exclusives, and Microsoft has yet to have any exclusives that have been major system sellers.
Right.
I would say that Titanfall was probably a letdown.
Mm-hmm.
It's a successful game. It's selling really well. But compared to what they wanted it to do, Sony's still selling the most systems, and I think Microsoft was counting on Titanfall being that one that put them on the top.
And I think it was kind of dumb of them to release it out for other systems so quickly.
Yes.
They could have kept it exclusive to the Xbone for at least a little while, 6 months, before they're like, hey, all right, now it's going to drop for PC and 360. I mean, it's great for us because we don't have to buy an Xbox One, but dumb of them.
I'm trying to see. There was I heard a percentage about the number of exclusives between the two.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find it right now, but there's a great ad that starts playing though when I do look. But there was, I can't remember, they were floating around, one was 50%, one was 60%. Nintendo's exclusive percentage, titles that were exclusive to Nintendo, was 100%. That is all they showed were Nintendo titles.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that's the thing. It's if you're going to get a second system at this point, if you say you already have a PlayStation 4,
mm-hmm.
a lot of people want a second system.
Sure.
That's a pretty common thing. And based on my limited observations, that once owned 2 PlayStation 3s, as well as a 360.
That's what everybody has, right?
I did also have at one time I had 2 PS3s, 2 Xbox 360s, and a Wii.
You sold me one of your 360s.
It's sorta, yeah. It was an exchange
There was
for
a
services.
transaction.
Yes, there was a transaction. Well, we're making that sound weird.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
You did
weird.
some work
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
3D work.
Yeah. This.
This is an exchange for services.
That's a weird invoice. No, this will be my my second system. I have no plans of getting an Xbox One at this point.
And which is very surprising for you, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you were.
I wasn't even expecting to get the Wii U at all, but at this point, like, I'm not going to get it for a little while, but I will get one at some point.
Yeah. Well, I had to give you a bit of a nudge to consider the PS4, right? I mean, there was a little bit of a, hey man, you should get a PS4. Don't get a Xbox One, because you were kind of leaning towards Xbox One. It seemed like.
Yeah. I mean, like, I had still a lot of love for the 360, so my general leaning was still toward that, but I'm glad I didn't jump on that sinking ship.
I don't know that I would call it a sinking ship, but yeah. So I think it's cool because the reason Nintendo is becoming a consideration for people is because they're doing a turnaround. They're doing a turnaround like Sony did. You know, Sony looked at. I mean, it took Sony a whole system to develop back into, you know, making it about games.
Right.
And then this system, they were like, all right, this is just going to be about games. You know, we learned our lesson through the lifespan of the PS3. The PS4 is going to be about games.
Mm-hmm.
And Nintendo has been forced to have a quicker about face and realize, you know, they didn't have necessarily the same thing going on because their system really doesn't do much else. It just plays games. But they were very stubborn about, we're doing this the way we've done this for the last 30 years, you know, and that's the way it's going to be. So
we're Nintendo, damn it.
Yeah. And then it was like, oh, wait, we're losing millions of dollars by doing that. And we need to start listening to the fan base.
Yeah.
And so that has really helped things turn around. So.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm stoked for him.
All right, next up. Oh, cool little game coming up. We've talked about aliens. This has been a very alien episode.
Yeah.
At E3, a lot of people got their paws on alien isolation using the Oculus Rift.
Crazy.
I crapped my
ridiculous.
pants just thinking about that.
Yeah. I mean, please look at the show notes and check out the pictures in this article, because it's scary enough thinking about it, even just being on like a regular sized computer screen, but think about it being, you can't get away from this
in
because
your head.
It's strapped to your face. This is all you see.
I'm trying to think of a scary game that No, it was a scary movie. All right? I usually watch scary movies on a big screen. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was in bed, and I was like, I want to watch a movie. I'm not ready to sleep. And so I started watching it on my iPad. And you're holding that thing to your face.
Yeah.
I'm trying to relate the sensation. It is different when you're holding something to your face, making yourself watch it, because it's harder to just like kind of subtly turn away and that kind of thing, because it's right there in your face.
Yeah.
It is more intimate. So imagine taking that to another level where at least when it's in my hands, I can shift my head and look away kind of thing.
Right.
But when it's on your head...
No thanks.
No thanks.
The guy writing the article, or woman,
person.
now it's a guy, talks about like the physical response to wearing this is like you want to run away because it's made a part of your environment. Like you said, like you can't just look away because it's strapped to your head. So like the only option is to try and run. But I mean, it's obviously just a game. But I don't know that I would want to play this.
I realize it's easy to close your eyes. But
Sure.
that's when you're watching something scary, that's not your typical reaction. When you see people in the, when they show that night vision of people watching, what are those dumb, scary movies where there's like the...
Like The Ring or something?
No, whenever they have those, they come out every year. I can't remember what they're called. Who cares? They're a horror movie.
Okay.
It's gonna bother me.
Don't think about it. Stop.
And there's gonna be, oh man, my head's gonna explode. I need to know.
I can see it.
So they always show the reaction videos of people in the theater watching it, and they're like all scared and stuff. People turn their head down, down and away. That's what they do when they see something scary. It's not like they just sit there and stare at the screen. That's scary, and just shut their eyes and just keep. That's scary. Gotta close my eyes.
Yeah.
No, that's not the typical reaction.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'll be able to do it either.
I kind of want to try it, but it also terrifies me
Yeah.
a lot.
I'm gonna wear an adult diaper if I do.
Yeah.
Or at least some sort of pad.
Yeah. Some protection.
Yeah, I have trouble with games like Outlast, and we've kind of talked about this on the show before, that I can watch other people play it, which is going to make it way harder to watch other people play with the Oculus. Like, can I get part of this on?
I bet it would be really funny to watch somebody play this, though.
Yes, it would
Watch
be.
their physical responses to everything.
Someone's going to die with their Oculus Rift on. You just know it.
Yeah.
They're gonna not realize it, but they've traipsed through the whole house, and they ended up in the bathroom, and they tripped and fell and hit their head on the tub.
Right.
I thought it was a mattress. In the virtual world, it was something soft and cushy. It actually ended up being a tub. And I'm actually looking forward to Alien Isolation. Like, there's a lot of hype about this game. People are
It looks nice.
saying it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
But people are playing it and saying it's good. Just hope it all comes together, because that would be sweet.
Yep.
And don't you play Ellen Ripley's daughter?
Yes, you do.
Interesting.
Ripley.
Well, I wonder where on the timeline that is. Because in Aliens, her daughter is dead. And that's 57 years later. Yes. Or she's like 90. I thought she was dead, though.
Oh. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
How about you take this next story?
All right. Next up. You should move every few hours if you don't want to get blood clots.
If you're flying on a plane, if you're pooping, if you're doing anything where they're sitting, every few hours you need to take a break.
Yeah. I would say this story is just move your body. Don't sit in one position for
it shouldn't
hours and
relate
hours and
to just
hours.
video games. It should just say, new study shows, move your body every few hours.
Yeah. This new condition is called gamer's thrombosis. And it started out with a 31-year-old man. Gross. He was playing 8 hours of video games a day for, I think, 3 or 4 days. For 4 days. Yeah. Sitting with his legs outstretched. But he would play for hours and hours and hours without getting up or moving or doing anything.
Wow.
Which I don't think I've ever done that. Like, I've played my long stretches of games, but you move. Like, you move around.
Get up and move around the cabin. That's what they say on an airplane.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, he kept his legs straight out and caused some blood clots that he had to go on medication for, which
What an idiot.
seems like you shouldn't have to tell people to move. I mean, I guess I wouldn't expect a blood clot from that, but I don't know.
I wish
Move
the
around
doctor
when you're
would
gaming.
just say, "Hey, you're dumb, and I'm just gonna let you die."
Oh, I could treat you.
But I won't because you're too stupid.
You're gonna have to get a second opinion.
We're gonna measure you on the Darwin scale, and if you don't get at least 57 on the Darwin scale, I'm gonna let you die.
You get out.
You can die. Yeah, what a wiener.
Yeah.
You win this week's Wiener Award.
I really don't like that they call it gamers thrombosis
I
because,
know,
like you said,
it should just be thrombosis.
yeah, could be movie watchers thrombosis.
Yeah, I've got movie watchers thrombosis. I've got
terrible
poopin',
thrombosis
I've got
right
poopin' thrombosis.
Every day I sit on the toilet for
Sometimes
4
Brittany
hours.
knocks on the door and she's like, "Dan, don't forget to stand up and move around a little bit before you're done.
That thrombosis.
You don't want thrombosis."
Dan,
You've been in there for 3 hours.
thrombosis alarm.
You're making it go back in.
Oh boy. Let's move on. So
Remember Gamer's Thumb? That was another thing that, you know, when Nintendo first came out, people were playing that so much, people were getting Gamer's Thumb. And they sold like little protective gloves for your thumb, like
was it a callus or something?
It would just, your thumb would be really sore, like it would burn. It was almost like the skin was burning.
No.
And yeah, it was almost like they just cut off the thumbs of dish gloves,
Yeah.
and that's what you would put on your thumb when you played on the Mintembo.
Oh.
Mintembo Entertainment System.
When you push in the buttons, it would like dig into your thumb and like
yeah.
cause some nerve damage or something.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it was called Gamer's Thumb. I have Hitchhiker's Thumb.
You do?
Already, yeah.
And I've just got gross thumbs.
Grotesque.
I've got Gracie thumbs. Dan's got hitchhiker thumbs.
All right, last story.
Yeah. So we talked. Was it last week? I don't remember.
We didn't.
Ubisoft.
I don't think we talked about this. Ubisoft. Didn't we? Maybe we did. I don't keep track of the stuff we do on this show.
Somebody else's job, not mine.
Whoever's like keeping track of the UPH wiki, they can do it.
Yeah, Ubisoft is not putting in a female assassin as part of the lineup. There are multiple male assassins you can play as, but no females.
It's a real sausage fest over at Assassin's Creed.
And
I think we should title the show Assassin's Creed Sausage Fest. I'm gonna update the notes right now.
So the people making Sunset Overdrive, they decided to poke a little fun at Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft and throw in their own generic ripoff of an Assassin's Creed type character, and it is a female, and sort of thumbing their nose at Ubisoft for saying, "Oh, it's too hard to put a female model in there." Blah, blah,
it
blah.
sounds like.
Exactly. Like, how hard was this for them if they're just making it as a joke?
I think all video games characters should just be androgynous, and that you can't distinguish what they are.
Just all sexless crash test dummies.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Just thought it was kind of funny.
That is funny, Aaron.
Ha.
Ow. It's time for Retro Game of the Week. That's my jam.
I like that
Love it.
drop in there.
Boo! Retro game of the week this week is Quake.
Oh yeah, the nail
Remember
gun.
Quake?
Yeah. What was your favorite gun?
I wasn't a big Quake fan.
No?
No.
This came out in 96.
Tell us about
Real
Quake.
old. This is one of the first, like, I mean, there was Doom, and then they ratcheted up, like, you could look up and down. The environment, like, there were no sprites anymore. Well, like, not, the major enemies weren't sprites. And it really upped the ante, you could say, for 3D gaming. Super fun first-person shooter, and it was sort of crazy. You had, like, nail guns. They had several variations of nail guns, and really great sound effects in there.
Could you whisper this segment for all of our listeners that have ASMR?
This week's game is Quake. So now we're just gonna quietly talk about Quake. Just close your eyes.
Tap, tap, taparoo. You want to hear some video game playing? I'm playing a video game. Tap, tap, tap. I hope you're getting tingles.
Those videos just creep me out more
They
than
do creep me out too. I am creeped out by them. I mean, like, I get the tingles. Like, if I listen to Bob Ross, Bob Ross does the Joy of Painting stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I listen to that. It puts me to sleep. It's very relaxing and puts me to sleep. And, so I totally get them. And I get why they're popular, but some of them go borderline creepy. Like, they get into the role-playing stuff. And it's like, you're at a makeup counter. Would you like me to do your makeup for you? Like, they get weird.
Yeah. I think the first time I saw it, I thought it was supposed to be like guided meditation or something. But it was like, that's why they're made, is for you people.
See, I always knew, like, old people voices, like, oh, I'm old. Hey, Danny, how are you?
Mm-hmm.
Old people voices would put me to sleep. Like, an old person would start talking, and I was like, oh, you're not boring, you're just really soothing.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize my whole, this I remember as a little kid even. I didn't realize I had a condition, that a group of people have. I just thought it was normal. And
you just thought old people were super boring.
And so I was having trouble sleeping one time, and I was like, well, what helps me go to sleep are old people voices.
Mm-hmm.
And I started looking up, like, on YouTube. I was like, I wonder if there's someone with a soft voice kind of thing. And I put Whisper into YouTube, and then there was this huge list of, oh my gosh, this is a thing, and the internet has turned it kind of pervy too.
Yeah.
So
it's like dark bedroom, and somebody's, and now we're gonna talk about this. I mean, it's a little much for me. I mean, obviously, I'm not their target audience.
I bought some potpourri today, and I'm gonna jangle it around a little bit. I think we should do an entire episode like that and see how many hits we get. I bet we put ASMR in the title for a podcast.
Yeah.
We will. Not only will we cause tons of accidents with people listening to the episode in the car, I bet on YouTube we get way more hits than we've ever gotten before on this show.
Well, let's try it next week.
All right, next week is going to be the Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response Show. But
oh,
coming up
so
on your page.
So that's Quake, everybody.
And that's the end of an episode.
Yeah, so you want to email us at podcast@uphshow.com.
Our Twitter handle is @UPHshow.
Facebook.com/UPHshow.
Subscribe to us on iTunes, iTunes or Stitcher. And please rate, review. We would appreciate it.
Yeah, and check out our Steam group. We've got Unbelievable Power Hour there.
I'm Dan DeHaan, and my website is dandehaan.com. My Twitter handle is @dandehaan78.
My name is Aaron Wiesinger, and my website is aaronwiesinger.com, and my Twitter handle is @awiesinger.
You can watch our beautiful faces on our YouTube channel and all the other ASMR videos that we have there.
So many.
YouTube.com/UPH show. That is the end of another week. It's 24. Next week is our 25th episode. We're a quarter of a way to the 100th episode. We should have an all like grungy, gross voice, like the opposite of ASMR episode 2. All
Maybe
right.
that is a trigger for some people.
Oh, I got the tingles. Have a good week, everybody. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
And I'm stopping the broadcast.